feel like the American dream that they sold you is dead. At this point, I feel like it's a big fat lie.
I am in the process of moving, and I am scrolling on Zillow trying to find me something to rent. And why are all these homes $2,100 for rent?
Food has doubled since COVID, and it's actually gone up by like 50% in the last 18 months.
You really have to figure out how can you make more money, because you're literally one paycheck away from homelessness. What are you going to do?
3 small bags of groceries, $65. No meats, by the way, no meats. 3 small bags.
I'm an American. I pay $1,600 for a flat that has no bedroom. That's 2/3 of my income. I'm an American. I work 50 hours a week. I don't have health insurance. I'm an American. I couldn't afford to have a child even if I wanted to. I'm $7,000 in debt. I'm an American. My health is declining because I can't afford Whole Foods because that's too expensive for my life. I am very overqualified for my job, but no one else is hiring. I'm an American. I make my boss hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, while I can barely keep myself alive. I'm an American. I have never been out of the States. I have never been on a vacation. I'm an American. I make $20-some an hour. A livable wage here is like 30-some. Yet I don't qualify for government assistance whatsoever. On the days I don't work, I'm so tired I just sleep all day. I'm an American. My electric bill is so expensive I sit outside in the heat because I can't afford to turn the AC on in the damn house. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just an average American. I'm living the American dream.
Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury. Rent is robbery. Healthcare is a joke. And somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity, we got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a 1-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
This is how crazy coffee prices have gotten recently. Look at this. Right now it's $8.59, but look like what it used to be. It was $7.69, but wait. Before that, $3.79.
So I've been hearing when Biden was president, it was one side that they're lying about the inflation rate. You know, food is up 25, 50, 75%, whatever the amount for that item is. Or my heat bill doubled. So how is it up 25 or up 3% or whatever? And now the other side's doing it about Trump. The inflation rate that you see advertised, if you search it on news articles, the government's talking point, does not include energy or food. So when you get a 3% raise because your work says, hey, that's the cost of living increase, that's the inflation rate, it does not include our most expensive categories. Food for my family has doubled. I shop at Meijer almost exclusively, and I can see 5 years back, I think, or 4 years back, and food has doubled since COVID. And it's actually gone up by like 50% in the last 18 months. Energy bills, my electric rate doubled. My gas bill, I don't think I've checked yet, but it probably did too, because they don't care. So when you are arguing about inflation and you're trying to convince someone that this is not a normal inflationary rate, make sure you tell everyone you know that this inflationary rate does not include food or energy. And what counts in that? Anything you eat. So whether it's from a farm, a factory, doesn't matter. And energy is a large encompassing category. So it's fuel, it's anything that gives energy to your life. So electric, gas, kerosene, gas for your car, anything energy related is not included in that rate. That makes a huge difference when you talk about inflation. The items that count in inflation are up minuscule amount. That's that 3%. The stuff that we need, the little guys, because everybody's worried about the wrong 1%, we need to worry about the 8 billionaires that own majority of our country. We do not need to worry about anybody who is trans, anything. Or, for example, one single mom on welfare. Why do you care when corporate welfare is bankrupting our country? Like, literally, that if billionaires and millionaires paid their taxes, we wouldn't have a deficit. So just wanted to say that, because I've had a few people argue with me that inflation is not 3%, and I think a lot of people just aren't aware of that. So I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. I don't post very often because I'm just trying to stay off social media and stop doom scrolling, but I do like to post when there's something important to say. Have a great week, guys.
So I've really been thinking about inflation and the state of our economy, and it's really bad. A lot of people have lost their jobs. The price of things are going up crazy, but it really has me thinking about the people who live paycheck to paycheck. Literally, if you think about it, a lot of people don't have a savings. We're all spending more than we used to. And most people rely on their next check to survive until the next check. So, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you really have to figure out how can you make more money. Because you're literally one paycheck away from homelessness. What are you going to do? And there's a lot of people who are this way. And that's how some people are going to lose their house. But that's also how the rich people make more money during times like this. They wait for you to lose your house. They buy your house. They hold on to it until the economy gets better. And then they sell your house. We have to think, how can we support each other at this time? Buy small, because small businesses are the ones that are going to boost the economy. But what else can we do? You know, drop it in the comments. What can we do? We need to pray for each other at this time. You know, it really has me thinking.
Yo, do y'all really think it's normal to be paying $2,500 a month plus for rent? Is that normal? Do you think it's normal to pay $300, $400, $500 on a car note, $100 on your phone bill, $150 on electricity? Like, that's not normal, yo. Do you know what you could do with that type of money in different places? The reason these prices are so high is because they know they can take advantage of us. It's that simple. And they know we're going to keep paying. I feel like we don't have the discipline to force these people's hand. Like, these prices are out of control. Like, it shouldn't be this expensive for literally basic necessities. Just because we are the richest country in the world and have the highest GDP doesn't mean we should be taken advantage of and squeezed for like every dime we got. That makes no sense to me. You know, things should cost what they cost. And a lot of that is, you know, the market, and, you know, we determine the market. So I believe we got to do better, man. It's only going to get worse, you know, the more we put up with and accept, you know, them hiking up these prices, because these companies just want to make money. Like, that's all they in it for, you know. So they be like, oh, all right, if something costs $50 and they, you know, take it up to 60 and we still buying, they're like, all right, bet, let's take it up to 70. They'll take it up until we do something about it. And that's their strategy. Like, don't fall for it, man. Just pay the money for what things are really worth. And if you can't find a reasonable price, don't buy it. Don't buy it. If most people did that, the economy would be a ton better.
Okay, I hadn't had a Bowman's fresh turkey thigh in a long time, so I went to go grab one. $9.22 for a normal size one. So I was wondering, I wonder what it was like a year ago. And I went back to just October of 2024, and this was how much I paid. You can check your receipts on the Kroger app, so you can know how much the prices are going up. But then I got to thinking, what if everything's like this? I said, okay, well, fuck it. Let's look at my dog's favorite treats. Abound. These are good. They fit into Kong balls and don't require cleaning. $5.49. Look what I paid for them just 1 year ago. Laura's ground beef. I love a healthy alternative to fatty beef. Look at this price. $10.99. Look at the price I paid for this just a year ago. The price of beef is wow. I'd be a dirty son of a bitch if I didn't bring up coffee. Look, this is what I get when I'm not trying to spend a bunch of money. Just the Kroger brand. I like the fancy shit, but not $5.99. Let's look what I paid 1 year ago. We got dates. Dates is my favorite treat. You put some peanut butter on there and some chocolate chips. It's like a Snickers bar. My sister taught me that trick. Let's look at dates. $7.99. $7.99. Holy shit. Look at what I paid for these 1 year ago. We'll be paying $100,000 for a loaf of bread before this son of a bitch gets done ruining America.
It's getting harder to survive in America. People are maxing out credit cards just to buy groceries. Not luxury items, just the basics. Bread, milk, eggs. $1,000 barely covers a week's worth of food for a family. Prices keep climbing while paychecks stay the same. Some are working 60 hours a week and still can't afford rent. This was supposed to be the land of opportunity, the American dream. But for millions, that dream's been replaced by debt, exhaustion, and fear. It's not about poor budgeting anymore. It's about a system that's breaking the very people who built it.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription, everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC, not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
Sometimes it feels like I'm the only one that does not have the access to like money and stuff, like to take my kids a bunch of places and buy a bunch of stuff for our house. Obviously, I know it's not just me, but it totally feels like that because it's like everybody has to post like the amazing things in their life and nothing else. And it's like me, for instance, you know what I mean? I went to the beach the other day. I could have easily just posted about the beach and had everybody thinking, you know, but we have been trying to go to the beach now for the past like 2 years. We have a family of 5 and we haven't gone because it also is very difficult, but like it's expensive. Every freaking thing in this world is literally so expensive. You cannot even go to dinner with your family of 5 and enjoy dinner without having a fucking heart attack over the check that you receive. It's how are we supposed to even enjoy? They have made it so fucking hard to even enjoy life at all. So what, we're supposed to just sit here, go to work, sit here and do the same fucking thing every single day for the rest of our fucking life? I just get so in my feelings because I'm like, am I the only one? I don't know. I remember being younger, going to Disneyland every single year, doing things every single year, all the time with my parents. We had a family of 5, but it's just so different now. And it's depressing.
Bro, if I knew how bad the economy was going to be up today, I wouldn't have been riding no bikes, playing no video games. I would have bought a house when I was 10. They did a study based on today's economy. Like, what should minimum wage be based on today's economy to make sure an American is comfortable living a day-to-day life, like with the prices, how the prices is up to date? Bro, do you know how much they say you need to make an hour to be comfortable around this motherfucker? $66 fucking dollars an hour. $66 an hour, bro. Who the fuck making that? That ain't even the kicker. You make $66 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. At the end of the month, guess how much you gonna have in whole? 10 bands. Oh no, but don't think you taking the whole 10 bands. You forgot about Uncle Sam. You're going home with 6,500. Maybe a 7-ball if you lucky. Okay, so eliminate all the bills and life expenses from that 6,500. You left, even motherfuckers who making $66 an hour after paying all their bills and life expenses at the end of the month, they only gonna be able to save a band or two a month. So regular motherfuckers like me and you was just cooked. We po. We just, at this point, we just on the internet seeing who can be po better. Who can be best at being po.
Now, why is rent $2,100? I am in the process of moving and I am scrolling on Zillow trying to find me something to rent. And why are all these homes $2,100 for rent? My price range is about $1,650. They don't have anything in my goddamn price range but a motherfucking box. If I want something, I guess, livable, I'm gonna have to pay $2,000 plus to fucking live somewhere. What the fuck?
So I want to continue this conversation about how 99, I'm gonna say 99, not even 95, 99% of us living in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area are suffering. And I want to continue this conversation in hopes that I will not only get more answers as to why other people think this is happening, but I will find all the other New Jerseyans and New Yorkers that are suffering in this with me. I feel like the American dream that they sold you is dead. At this point, I feel like it's a big fat lie. Because technically I did everything I was supposed to do. And my husband, he really did what he was supposed to do. This man suffers from Crohn's disease. And through the worst flare-up of his entire life, where he weighed the same weight as me, he went to school full-time and worked a job full-time. So he literally would work overnight shifts, get off at 7 in the morning, and then go to school at like 12 in the afternoon. And we're not just talking just like regular business school or whatever. We're talking engineering. He chose engineering because it's a great lucrative career, right? Well, he bust his aspirin, went to school, literally got the sickest he's ever been in his life, literally failed the class because he was so sick. We had a baby, went through COVID. I mean, such hard times in our lives. He pushed forward and graduated. And guess what? He makes no more money than he was making before. Can't even find a job that would pay him $150K. And $150K might sound like a lot to some, but that is literally nothing for here. You need at least $200K in the household to survive. And I want to focus on my fashion business. So not only can we not afford a home, we can barely afford rent. Something's gotta give.
Let's talk about this $200 inflation refund, which is a fucking joke. DK, that this check is supposed to help with the rising cost of living. $200. Con Ed is fucking scamming me because my bill is $250 a month, and I don't even use that much fucking light. Buying groceries is at least $150, and we're talking about 10 fucking items. I don't take the trains, I don't take taxis, I have a scooter, so I'm good with that. But what the fuck is this supposed to do, my love? It's a slap in the fucking face. Things are so fucking expensive right now. And I'm a born-bred New Yorker. I've lived in New York my entire life. Manhattan, my entire life, bro. I don't pay $4,000 a month like some of you fucking new people who are moving into my city. At this point, me and Governor Hochul need to throw some hands. Like dead ass. And I'm not a fighter, but I'll slap the shit out of her with this fucking check because the disrespect. This is some disrespectful ass shit, but I appreciate it.
Something that I've wanted to talk about on my TikTok page. Why is rent so expensive nowadays? As somebody that's going to be 26 later this month, I've been looking at a ton of places in order to rent to eventually move out of my parents' house soon. And rent easily alone for a 2-bedroom apartment is easily over $2,000. And this is coming from somebody that lives in New York City. $2,000 is at least the standard. We're talking about $2+ grand, $2,500, even $3,000+ per month. And when we talk about rent like 20 years ago, I know it was still expensive to those standards back then, but even then, it's crazy how expensive life really is at the moment. And this is coming from someone that's still technically a student at the moment. I'm still in the final year of getting my master's degree, and I'm close to getting the job that I want to, but at the moment, it's really, really expensive to move out, and landlords still are raising their prices for rent. Why? I have no idea. That's just something that's been on my mind, and I wanted to talk about on a TikTok video.
This isn't living anymore, it's surviving. Food prices have exploded, up nearly 50% in just a year and a half. Families are skipping meals, cutting back on everything, and still falling behind. Parents are eating less so their kids can have a full plate. Some are sleeping in cars or storage units because they can't afford rent. Others work 2 jobs and still can't save a dime. Every paycheck is gone before it even arrives. Rent, bills, groceries, all swallowed by inflation. People used to dream about buying a home. Now they just dream about making it to next month. And the hardest part? No one knows when this will end. How do you hold on to hope when the cost of simply living keeps breaking you down?
Prices in America are going up so quickly. The inflation is so high, and each year everything going up and up and up that I can't even describe. Like, you know the prices in USA. But in Ukraine, in Europe, it was different. It didn't feel that way. But in here, since we arrived, like the kefir, for example, that I'm buying, it was $4. Now in Harris Theater, it costs 6.5. So how is it possible? Like in 2 years, the price went up in $2.5. It's insane. It's insane. I just can't handle. Sometimes I go to some Starbucks and I see a toast for $7, and I'm like, what? How is it even possible? How do you charge $7-8 for the piece of bread with cheese? This is insane.
Can someone explain to me why it cost me $43 for 7 items at Walmart this morning? And I didn't even get anything crazy. I literally got these were the cheapest things. It was $2. It was like under $2. Patches for my kids' pants, milk, mayonnaise, 2 things of bread, now I'm blanking. Buttermilk and something else for $43. $43 for like milk and bread. Oh, and chocolate chips. That's what it was. It was the generic brand butterscotch chips because my friend is having twins and I want to make her lactation cookies. Are we great again?
Is anybody else sick of these grocery bills? Because I just spent $80 at Trader Joe's. I still have to buy food like to eat for dinner for the week at a regular grocery store. That's going to cost me over $100. So this is out of control. Prices are ridiculous. I don't even know what I bought at Trader Joe's. Can you guys relate? Because why are prices so expensive?
I am seriously starting to feel like it's just about impossible to live in the United States. And, I don't want to seem like a lazy bum when I seen this, but I truly feel like it's just about impossible. If you weren't raised and given a good first hand in life, or a support team who will make sure no matter what that you don't fail, or having people that you're able to fall back on, you're blessed. And if you are one of those people, I highly suggest you thank those people near you, because a lot of us aren't blessed like that.
America is collapsing. before our very eyes. Restaurants are closing their doors for good in my city at a record pace. They're blaming it on a slow season, but I think it's something else. You can't tell me the amount of abandoned strip malls that I drive by on a daily basis is normal. I know you've seen it too. All these places just get replaced with the capybara cafe de jour or a flower store to placate the masses, if you know what I mean. There used to be 24-hour diners, family-owned restaurants, even bookstores, I don't know, third spaces. Now, nothing. Luxury apartments that sit vacant forever. Grocery stores that have been closed for 10 years. So much wasted space in empty parking lots until some TikTok trend comes, opens for 6 months, and then that closes too. I know I'm not alone in this, but yet every single time I bring it up, I get all the bots in my comments telling me the economy's never been better. But I ask for who? Like 100 people at the top? So the billionaires are doing great. I don't care. People like you and me, we're struggling out here. All my friends live in vans. And if we are lucky enough to have apartments or houses, we're living behind locked doors and closed blinds because there's no community here anymore. Restaurants are just the beginning. They're the canary in the coal mine. Once they're gone, so are all of our meeting places, our birthday parties, our community, and third spaces. They're not just a place to buy food. They're a pulse of the neighborhood. And also, as a live singer, something hugely important to my job. I used to sing 5 nights a week. Now I'm lucky if I can find a Sunday night gig. So I'm just here to say, if this is what a booming economy sounds like, it must be the sound of doors slamming shut. And I don't know about you, but I'm making my exit plan. We're moving to Portugal soon, where they still have cafes and restaurants that people actually go to. If you find that interesting, stick around. Because I can tell you this is not normal. And don't let internet comments gaslight you into thinking it is.
I moved into my apartment in June 2023. I was paying $1,790 in rent. I just got notified that March 1st, my rent will be increasing to $2,023. And before everyone gets in the comments and says, you're doing this, you're making your choice. Okay, first of all, fuck you. I have a 2-bedroom apartment because I have a 1.5-year-old son, and I got this apartment because I researched every apartment within a 30-mile radius of where my dad lives, because my dad lives with my nephew. I'm the legal guardian of my nephew, and I need to be able to have quick, close access to my nephew. I take him to appointments, I pick him up from school, etc. What's shitty is that this is the market rate. So this is pretty standard if you want a 2-bedroom apartment. And mine's nice because it's new, but it's not fancy. It was made really like everything's plastic and falling apart, and it, for all intents and purposes, it's not a quality apartment. It's safe. I love living here, and that's why I'm living here. But I was talking to my landlord, and I was like, listen, I know this isn't your fault. I know you're not setting the prices of these, but what the fuck? This is not like a sustainable, like, how the fuck is anyone supposed to like maintain their tenancy? I said, should I expect another huge rent increase? And he's like, yeah, in September, there's going to be another like $80 to $120 rent increase. And I'm like, so let me get this fucking straight. I had to pay $5,500 to just get into this fucking apartment. I could live in a 1-bedroom. I don't want to because I just figured out crib training with my son. I pay electric and I pay fucking gas, which is another, $100 to $120 a month, like on top of that. I hate that the issue is that I'm at a point in my life where paying another $120 a month in rent is like pissing me off. I know that the solution is to just make more money so that this is gonna happen and I'm gonna have more wiggle room in my budget and blah, blah, blah. But what pisses me off is if you're not making $6,000 or $8,000 as a single mom a month, you're just like, how are you gonna make it?